God doesn't ask you and then not give you what you need. The question is, are you going to stay comfortable where it's safe, or are you going to step into your calling? I'm not saying this is easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. This takes boldness. This takes a made-up mind that says, I am not going to let fear, insecurity, what I don't think I can do, keep me in my limited environment. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to take risk. I may have to hurt some feelings, but I'm going to make changes to follow the call. Not going to sit around in dysfunction, surrounded by dysfunctional friends. I'm going to rise and walk.
At one point in your life, you're going to have to jump. You cannot play it safe your whole life. Ships are safe when they're in port, right? But that ain't what ships is built for. You're built to go far away places. If your job is your port, you're not built for that.
Because many people don't go as far as they should go because they have apprehension that they won't reach their goal. They just say, I'm going to stay down here where I'm at and not try because I might lose. I'm not going to own anything because I might lose it. I'm not going to get married because I might get a divorce. I want it, but I don't want all the stuff that comes with it. That's madness, but that's how it is. And when you do that and you reject God's opportunity, you are left with nothing but the hope of magic. It's like believing God that you're going to get pregnant and not gain weight.
Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. I used to say, what if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go.
Now here's why you should take the chance. Name me one time God has not pulled you through. And the reason I know I'm telling the truth is because you're sitting in here. Man, you owe yourself something. Go be free. Go see what God got for you. Osteen, that's easy for you to say. You rich. Hell, did you hear me? I lived in a car for 3 years.
Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. A life full of adventure is a life full of many decisions. The ones that turn out to be wrong give you better experience to make better decisions. So don't see how many decisions you can get out of, see how many you can get into. That's where the adventure is.
And if you will allow anyone, any voice on the inside to talk you out of this moment, you will forfeit it and be stuck washing your nets when there's a great drought of fish waiting you if you have the courage to believe.
Doubt's like a plague, and one of the worst is self-doubt. The guy doubts himself. Doubts if it'll last that long for him. Doubts if he can do that well. Doubts if he can accomplish all that. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb he doesn't know all he needs 1. He's got 5.
This often comes from things that people said to you or about you. They programmed you to see yourself in a limited parameter, and so when you see opportunities beyond how you've been programmed, you reject it because you don't feel like you're deserving of it.
So here's the key. Turn this coin over and become a believer. The understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress.
I'm a hood dude with no education. The mess around got to the top of the TV world, and I'm telling you, I was homeless and lived in a car, and I ain't got no education. If you destroy the dream, the Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. It never mentions if you don't have an education.
I've been amazed at the people I have met who were highly educated and failing. So education alone is not the solution. I've worked in penal institutions and seen people who were very gifted and incarcerated. In fact, I've seen people with less talent than you doing more than you. You can either become jealous or bitter, or you can begin to challenge yourself to say, what is wrong with my belief systems that's stopping me from going to the next level in this area?
Quit sitting here in your life posturing like it's okay.
Because it's a shame to live long and have no progress. I want to have progress in every area of my life. I've been washing these toilets for 27 years. At least let me be the manager of the toilet washers. Is there anybody in here that wants to move up? You'd be surprised at the people, because they have a belief system that holds on to being ordinary, they will not take the lead. I do not want to stand apart or be different. I am afraid that I will become a target, and you will. But just because they're shooting at you doesn't mean they shot you. But you have to have courage to do that, and you have to be able to see arrows zinging by you, people hating on you, and you have to say, like Job, though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. The maybe they'll like me better syndrome keeps you locked into a system that you can't get out of.
Become involved in life. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. Want to create a greater sense of fulfillment? Challenge your fears. Decide that you're going to take some chances.
It's not a good life. Safe is not a good life. Before you die, you should take a chance.
To live is to risk dying. To try is to risk failure. But risk must be taken, because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. And when you no longer fear dying, what else can life threaten you with?
Some people, for fear of having that pressure on them, forfeit the success and stay down rather than to go forward.
Going through life, playing it safe, is like a breathing corpse. You've got to venture into the unknown. You've got to take some chances.
In order to keep growing, you have to keep going. I would like to submit for your consideration that you are not living until you have been living in a scary place.
We grow when we have to stretch, when we're a little bit nervous, unsure of how it's going to work out. You don't like it, but God uses the scary places to move us into our destiny. We weren't made to stay where we are at the same level. We were made to take new ground. You have been armed with strength for every battle. Do it in spite of what thoughts are telling you. You have to stretch and dream a bigger dream. You'll never develop your wings in the nest. Try new things, develop new muscles. In the scary places, you will discover things you never knew you had. It's uncomfortable, but if you'll stay in faith, you're about to discover your wings.
When you no longer fear dying, what else can life threaten you with? What else? See, when you are willing to risk all of it. See, that's what life is. See, you've got to be willing to give it all up.
When I visit students, I also tell them that the greatest risk they take is not taking one.
I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive.
What I mean by that is I need you to go 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, and I need you to see yourself actually becoming the person you want to be.
Because you have to understand, this next 5-year window is when you don't go practical and safe. This is not the time to get the job mom wanted you to. This is not the time to try to maximize as much money so you can buy a fat whip.
When you're willing to throw it all on the line, that's when life takes on a whole new dimension. See, most people won't do that. They won't risk that. So decide to take some risks. You want to break the routine. Most people go through life following that routine, and we know that that is a living death. Going through life, playing it safe, is like a breathing corpse. It's the only way that you can grow. You've got to risk. The only way that you can become your best, you have got to risk. You got to challenge yourself. You've got to venture into the unknown. You've got to take some chances. Got to put you on the line.
Sometimes by trying to solve your own problem, you're solving everybody else's problems. Because generally, if you want to affect the world, you have to change yourself first. Everybody tries to go out and change the world by changing other people and other things. But the real way to do it is by changing yourself. And sometimes making those really.
Tưởng vào duyên số nhưng nếu em cho số đảm bảo mình nên duyên đấy. Từ khi gặp em Google hết tác dụng bởi em là tất cả những gì anh cần tìm, giống một kho báu để ngăn người khác đụng tới. Đối đầu thế giới anh cũng sẵn sàng cân tím, ghét phải lặng im có em như cô bạn. Nỗi nhớ đong đầy bao giờ mới khô cạn, khoảnh khắc bên nhau thời gian như ngừng trôi vì em sở hữu sự hấp dẫn vô hạn. Yêu đơn phương cảm giác khó đọc tên, mọi thứ mù mịt giống như đứng trước bão. Mãi hy vọng chờ đợi ngóng trông đến ngày nụ hôn đó sẽ một lần được trao. Hương thơm ngọt ngào vương trên mái tóc em gây nghiện cực mạnh, anh ngày đêm ước ao. Quỳnh là loài hoa đẹp nhất trong bóng đêm, cuộc đời này u tối đang cần em bước vào. Đưa cho anh cái bản đồ vì anh sắp lạc bên trong đôi mắt kia. Hãy đưa cho anh cuốn từ điển vì cảm xúc.
Uncomfortable choices to go up against everyone in your life that you look up to and take that risk, or go do this thing that nobody else is doing.
I think that you have to take risks all the time. If you don't do that, you don't move forward.
What changes our whole life is action. Why don't we take action? Fear. What do we got to do to get ourselves to do it? We got to make sure that we push ourselves through it by making a decision.
The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky.
Because to really, truly be creative, you have to be willing to take risks. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to fail.
This is the best and easiest 5 years of your life because this is when you need to attack what you love and what you want to do.
The problem is, everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants to pay the price. Right? Everybody wants the prize, but nobody's willing to pay the price. Nobody's willing to put in the work. Nobody's willing to make the sacrifice. Nobody's willing to eat their own, to make it happen. Everybody's expecting it to be easy. I was just giving a talk the other day to school, and someone said, well, why would I choose that way? That's much harder. That way's a lot harder. Why would I choose that direction? And I was like, man, why are we talking about hard versus easy? Nobody said this was going to be easy. We don't. Want it to be easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be doing it, right?
So in order to have that sense of fulfillment, getting out of your comfort zone, as you get out of your comfort zone, you expand your whole life. The more you do, the more you realize you can do. You expand your capacity. You expand your potential. You expand your horizons. You expand your vision of yourself and of life. You expand your participation in life. You're involved in life more. You'll get more out of life because you're putting more into life than most people. That's why it's so important that we're willing to take some risks. I don't know exactly what to do. It's okay. You'll find out. You either learn that you're going in the right direction or the wrong direction. And from that you learn. You'll get some feedback. The universe will tell you, where do I get started? Just get started. The universe will give you immediate feedback. Here's something else. Choose to be happy in spite of life challenges. In spite of life challenges. Life changes every day. Sometimes things will be going your way. Sometimes things work well for you. Sometimes won't work so well. Sometimes you'll have your health, you're feeling good and energetic, have a yes I can attitude, and there's some things that can happen to you in life that can take all of that from you. All of that can go. Sometimes you might be financially secure, and a sickness, one sickness can wipe out an illness.
Yeah. Khi say anh thường hay nhắc về em, mong khỏa lấp những u tối. Khoảnh khắc về đêm nghe lại bài ca ngày xưa cũ. Ta hát về nhau nhớ những giấc mơ ta từng ước, to tát về sau. Và đó là khi mà anh dần lụy là không làm chủ chính mình. Thấy không gian trở nên tồi tệ, mọi thứ bao phủ chính mình. Em đâu còn như điều anh mơ, anh cũng tự nhủ chính mình. Nhưng mà thôi em, nào ai giỏi mà đủ tính tình. Chẳng thể vươn tới được cảnh cao dù anh có nhã ý trèo. Trong cơn say mọi thứ cuồng quay, anh trở thành gã chí phèo. Yêu chân thành là không thay lòng dù em có như thị nở. Ý anh là em như cô Tấm, nhìn em như thị nở. Đêm vắng nàng ngón tay xám vàng vì đốt cả bao thuốc lá. Căn phòng chung khi xưa nồng ấm, bây giờ sao bút giá. Một thói xấu mà anh đã quen khi em không ở bên lâu. Anh thường ngồi trong một góc tối nhậu suốt cả đêm thâu. Em mang con tim anh đi đâu, khiến anh mù quáng vẫn cố sáng mỗi khi đau. Em mang con tim anh đi đâu, điều gì choáng váng để xứng đáng ướt mi nhau. Em mang con tim anh đi đâu, khiến anh mù quáng vẫn cố sáng mỗi khi đau. Em mang con tim anh đi đâu, điều gì choáng váng để xứng đáng ướt mi nhau. Đêm thâu anh đâu muốn nỗi buồn cứ dậy thêm đâu. Tên nhau anh cố gắng không nhớ để mà quên đau. Đào sâu trong ngàn điều muốn nói nhưng chẳng nên câu. Bao lâu để tổn thương phai mở đi những vết dấu. Vì sao thiếu em đời tôi như bài văn thiếu ý. Vì sao chỉ biết yêu thôi chẳng hiểu gì dại khờ. Khi con tim cần người không phải người cần dại khờ. Dấn thân mãi để kiếm trời dưới đất. Vội vàng mang ưu tư vào nhạc cất. Vội vàng tôi muốn tắt nắng đi cho màu đừng nhạt mất. Tương tư chiều cuốn cuộc đời theo hướng mặt trời xa đi. Tương tư chiều mà kỷ niệm ôi còn gọi ta chi. Biển tình dù bao la nhưng mặn chát đắng. Và biển anh không xứng là biển xanh, nhưng anh muốn em là bờ cát trắng. Yêu là xuống cả địa ngục vì đã chót tin như là xuân diệu. Yêu là chết ở trong lòng một ít.
Life always change. But you can choose in the midst of all of this that's going on to be happy in spite of in the good times and in the bad times. You can make a choice. So even if a cloud of sorrow comes over here, ain't it fine today? Living in the moment, getting everything we can out of where we are in the moment where we are right now. Living in the present.
If it wasn't difficult, then everybody would be doing it. It'd only be, everybody would be an entrepreneur, everybody would be a billionaire, everybody would be a successful athlete or artist or businessman or salesperson or scientist. Everybody would be doing it, right? It's not supposed to be easy. You shouldn't want it to be easy, right? The minute someone tells me that they're looking for, what's the easiest way to do it or the fastest way to do it, I immediately, in my mind, if I'm feeling generous, I'll tell them right then, I'm like, bro, ma'am, sir, I'm sorry, but I think you should try something else. Like, you've got the wrong mindset. Like, if you're looking at what's easy and fast, like, go to McDonald's or work that 9 to 5. But we're talking about if you have a dream, if you have a mission, if you have a passion, this shit is not going to be easy, Easy shouldn't even be in the conversation or in your vocabulary. This is supposed to be hard. You should want it to be hard because then no one can replicate what you create. The most important thing that you have to understand when you embark on anything of value and of meaning is that it's not going to be easy.
Failure has such a negative connotation in our society. and I think this is totally unfair, because what failure really is the opportunity to learn. If we never failed, it would never occur to us to do things differently. You would just keep doing the same thing because it would always work. But the world changes. People change. And so we have to change. We have to fail in order to succeed.
Decide to live your fantasy. See, in life, you can go through life, you can come up with reasons or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. You can go through life blaming or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. We can choose that. So look at your life and decide what it is that you want to do that will give your life a sense of worth. Someone said that your life worth is measured by your accomplishment and not by your complaint. You want to have a fulfilling life? Decide not to make your life predictable. For some people, their lives are very predictable. They got a little routine, they do that, and they follow that day in and day out. Day in and day out. You don't get much juice and happiness out of life like that if you are predictable. You want to change it up. Variety most certainly is the spice of life. Here's something else. Want to create a greater sense of fulfillment? Challenge your fears. Challenge them. Look those fears in the face and take them on. Don't allow them to rule you. Decide that you're going to take some chances. You've got to be willing to risk. If you're not willing to risk, you can't grow in life.